Are you part of the sandwich generation? More and more of us are. This should not have been or shouldn't be a surprise. We've known for years that baby boom bubble moving through the population, mom and dad getting older. Yeah, there are skilled care facilities, nursing homes, elderly villages. There's all kinds of options. I still maintain the best thing is family together under a roof. 74% of adults say they would want, yes, they would want to be cared for at home. That's according to Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance. They did a whole study on this. Joining us now, financial strategist, because it's a burden. We're in that ball game right now. Financial strategist, heads up Glasgow Investment Solutions. Guy was in the Marines, knows his stuff, and is a disciplined individual. Ron Glasgow joins us now. Hey, Ron, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Sandwich. Are you in the sandwich generation? You doing this?
I am. I'm very excited to talk about this. I'm part of the notorious Gen X, but I also have a lot of personal experience with this with both my parents that went through this scenario. So it's a real problem that we face in America today.
So you went through it as being raised in a home with, am I hearing that right, grandma or grandpa in the house with mom and dad, and you?
No. So I was an accident. I came much later in life. So I was 19 years after my sister and 13 years after my younger brother. So I've already gone through the process, and my parents have passed. My dad passed about 10 years ago. My mother, rest in peace, passed this last June. But both of them have very, very severe care needs that we had to address. And, we were lucky that we planned for them pretty well in advance. But if you don't do that, it makes this process a whole lot more difficult, I can tell you that.
Well, there is that. The baby boom generation did plan for their retirement better. We have, as I've mentioned it many times, my father-in-law, 89, lives with us for a year. We're coming up on a year the week after Thanksgiving. It's been a pleasure so far. Everything works pretty smoothly, and he's pretty good. I mean, he doesn't drive anymore. But the guy, he's great to talk with. He's all there, right? Okay. He is retired from Dow over in Midland, got a good pension. Mm-hmm. They saved, they traveled, they had a great life. And the generations now coming up, when you and I, well, maybe you because you're a financial strategist, and I think we're doing okay, but a lot of younger people, not so much saving going on now. Boy, that's going to be a bad bubble coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned two words there that people really confuse a lot, and one is pension and the other one is savings. So a lot of people to this day mistake their 401k for a pension. It is not. A pension is, you work in the place 30 years, they pay you out for the rest of your life. Those are wonderful. Unfortunately, they're going by the wayside. There aren't very many pensions left unless you work for the city or some government entity. So what you have left today is 401k programs, and a lot of people think that their 401k is going to be enough. And it might be, but that's up to you to fund it, not the employer. So you're really doing the heavy lifting on that. And if you're not doing the calculations yourself or working with a professional, you really are going to be behind because the money's just not going to be there when you're ready for it. And, oh, by the way, if you don't structure it right, it's going to be taxable when you pull it out too, which means you're going to lose 30 to 40% when you really need it.
I will say, if you put that's a good delineation there. Retirement, I never want to retire my whole life. I can talk, I can do this. If anybody wants to hear an old man, right? But yeah, and that's a big thing. You've got to stay active mentally. You've got to stay relevant in some way. That plays a big role in living under your kid's roof, I would think.
It absolutely does. I mean, you're right. I'm the same way. I don't ever want to retire, but you may not have that choice. So if you look at my dad, he was kind of that older generation, and he was born in 1938 when he retired the day that he could. And, unfortunately, he really started to die that day. I mean, I saw the decline. My mom, on the other hand, never retired until she had to. So, she retired from the grocery store in my hometown, then she went on to work at the Goodwill, then she ran the food bank at church. She was constantly active. But dementia then played a role. And, I mean, when I say you may not have a choice, my mother didn't. Fortunately for her dementia went very, very quickly. And I hate to say it that way, but if you're going to go for dementia, you don't want it to be prolonged. I can promise you that. So hers, she had a great life, and she had a rough year and a half or so. But she didn't have a choice at the end. The dementia took over, and that's something that a lot of us are going to face.
there are a lot more options for elder care. I mean, I mentioned early on in this introduction here about their entire retirement villages or elder care villages. I was reading this. Does this sound right? 7 out of 10 family caregivers do not want their aging parents in the home with us. I guess because of the financial burden?
Yeah, I mean, we all know family dynamics, and they sweep the board. And, you know, one of the things I'm very proud of is myself, my 2 brothers, and my sister. We didn't have one crossword between us when we were doing the care and the planning. We had difference of opinion sometimes, but we all came together. That's a very fortunate scenario. I know a lot of families don't do that. But, yeah, you know, it's funny. I'm in Texas. My family is up in the St. Louis area. I was fighting sort of tooth and nail for my mom to come live with us. And she didn't want to. She wanted her independence. So, to your point, there's some wonderful facilities. It's not necessarily the old folks' home that you think of so negatively. So she went into independent living where she had a lot of friends around and she was really thriving. As the dementia got worse, she had to go into assisted living and then ultimately, you know, full memory care. But that was a very short time relatively. And I'll tell you, she thrived in the independent living scenario, whereas if she was down here with me and I was working all the time, I don't think it would have been as good of a scenario. I really don't.
Yeah, the sandwich generation. A lot more people involved in that. And retirement versus 401k, 2 different things. I learned that today. Hey, Ron, let's stay in touch. You have some good information, and thanks for your service to the country.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.